Hello, so already in game again, and I'm currently in the process of refining 225 platinum into 45 nanite clusters, which will, as always, help the old nanite balance, because I'm still lower than I'd like to be. 26,369. So that's 225 platinum done. Only another 12,000 to do. That'll be a fun-filled session. I don't think I'll do it for this video. Also, notice that the old big paying items, 15.6 million each. I've got 50 of them. I'm still giving them away, but so far not had much in the way of interest. So I've expanded the not the actual size but the contents of the mobile base here on the freighter. So I've got 4 large refiners here. I still have the small the medium refiner, but that's somewhere else. I've also expanded the number of hydroponic trays, so I've now got 48 of them. I've moved all of the star bulbs down here, but yeah, I expanded it further because I wasn't growing enough solar vine. So yeah, I am now. So that's the base there. So I've a fun-filled session of refining 12,000 platinum, which I'll do when I'm not recording, because that's not going to make for the most scintillating of viewing. I say that as if any of my videos do. Now, in the last video, I showed you how my base was completely fucked up due to some glitch or other. And I was saying that I was thinking of, relocating, building a new base somewhere else. Well, I've done that. So let's launch, because it is in this system. And if I can remember where it is, we can go and take a look at the thing. Doesn't help that the markers aren't showing. There it is. Right, that's actually the beacon, but that is where we will go first. So I don't know if it's just me, is that planet actually pronounced lewd? Because a lot of people would say describes me quite well. I think quite a few other words that people use to describe me, but for the moment, lewd will suffice. Now, this new base pretty much follows the same sort of building pattern as the first one. I'm not one of these people who's going to spend, fucking 20 hours or so building this really intricate base. I like how I've got mine laid out, but it's very simple compared to some that you'll find on YouTube. But what makes it different to the first one is its location. I don't just mean the type of planet it's on. Of course, we're going to arrive when it's night time, which is a pain in the arse. Now, the portal is quite close to my base, but I mean, it's not as close as it was with the first one, as you can perhaps see. We'll slow down just to make sure that we actually go to the portal first. So I can give you, first of all, an idea of the actual distance. So there's the portal. I'll also give the address, although of course I was supposed to move where it shows the webcam, because where it is at the moment, even though I've reduced the size, it's still obscuring the address here. Now this is really cuntish. I've already charged all of these and now it's acting like I haven't. Because if I hadn't charged them, the portal would still be showing and I wouldn't need the beacon here. So I'm a bit fucked off about that. Is it because I didn't use it as soon as I charged the fucking thing? Anyway, it uses all the stuff that you can easily get again, so it's... it's not that big a deal, I suppose. It's just annoying that I've done it once before and now it's saying I've got to do it again. Maybe if I have to activate it first, so let's just activate it and get it up and running, but I'm not going to go through it. Right, so I'll show you what I was meant to show you now. Right, so this planet's address, there it is. So, well, say some of that I think is going to be obscured by the webcam at the top here. So it's dinosaur, sunset, I don't know what the fuck that's meant to be. Missile, sunset, weird thing again, shield, weird thing again, sunset, weird thing again, missile, and I think that's meant to be dragonfly. So that's where the base, well that's the planet anyway, where the base is. That's the portal address. Now if we, you can see the icons there for the base, 879U. So yeah, we are pretty close to it. Approaching the entrance, and here it is. No, it's not just that one building, but yeah, it's built inside the collapsed, almost like a crater here. Now there is a bit of a flaw with building it in this location. They look like they are partly submerged. So it might be that the ground is all fucking up again. We'll soon find out. No, this building's fine. I did notice that despite the problem I had in the last base, the buildings that I've got on ground level were perfectly okay, so this one's fine as well. So this is basically like a garden shed come garage where the bloke who sorts out the exocraft is. I keep calling him a bloke, but I mean it's really Viking, he's not a bloke. And the 4 exocraft all here. I've also got an atmosphere harvester which I keep here, but every time I leave it empties the nitrogen that it was collecting and also the fuel and gives you absolutely nothing in return. So basically it doesn't work. Now the layout, it's basically set out across 3, you could say 4 levels, and it's also set up in such a way that moving around externally is as much of an option as internally. So you can see there, obviously the landing pad where I'm on is the second landing pad. There are actually 3 landing pads on this base, and although it may not be immediately apparent, the third one is also right in front of us. We can actually see it where we are. So I'll come to that when we eventually get there. But by keeping it built like this, I've kept, you know, the risk of the glitch happening again, and all the ground, you know, the planet surface appearing within the buildings to a minimum, because there are not very many buildings that are actually in contact with the surface. When I say buildings, you know, I mean each of the individual structures. So actually, while I'm here as well, sorry, I forgot to mention, you may notice there's a bit of a walkway going on over there. It's slightly obscured by this building here. Yeah, following around the mountainside there. So let's go in, and I'll explain that as we get to it. So this is where we come in from this landing pad anyway. So we have all the usual stuff, the blueprint analyzers kept there, the galactic terminal, the old science officer, and the health and shield rechargers there. All of the corridors here, or at least all the straight ones, obviously, you know, junctions, you can't make glass corridors with those, but all the rest I've made all glass corridors. Also with each of the individual you know, like housing sections, I've put as much glass in them as I can. This does mean that complexity goes up, but I don't think there's really a problem with the complexity with this base. It's relatively simple. So anyway, in here we have the, I forget what he's called, the overseer, that's it. This takes us to the medium refiner. I told you I still had it and it was somewhere else. Well, this is where it is. I did fuck up a bit. I didn't want it here. I wanted it next to the large refiner, which is nowhere near here. But yeah, it didn't quite go according to plan. So basically you come out of you know, the landing pad, and if you've got some stuff that you need to refine desperately, the refiner's right in front of you. So yeah, it didn't really work out, but that's where it is anyway. Just here's some thunder going on outside, so yeah, I've chosen a great time to record this. Okay, so up the ladder, and that's where weapons bloke is, and this is the walkway that follows along the side of the mountain there. Quite a long way along the side of the mountain. It stops here at this observation point. Now you may get a bit of a hint as to what I am thinking. Can I build a bridge long enough to that island? Well, I'll give it a go, but at the very least this section is now basically reserved, and when there are new base features being added, which apparently they are coming, this is where they will go. So a bit out of the way, but I can live with it. Now the base has been uploaded, so people can come along and visit here. So that's that section. So this is just taking us back to the central landing pad. So now we come to here. I haven't decorated any of the interiors yet, so they're all a bit on the plain looking side. We go down not one level but 2 levels, and this is the farmer, so that gives you an idea of what is around here. So through here we have all of the biodomes. I've colour coded them as well, so that anyone arriving will see outside what's in what. So this is the blue section. In fact, there are 2 blue biodomes where I'm growing the old frost crystal, and the next 2. So this is the orange dome where I'm growing selenium. And then the red dome, it's red because this is where I'm growing coprite, but it's also where I'm growing echinocactus and mordite. So it's a bit of a mixture in that one. A bit of a twitch. And then the green, where I am growing the fungal mould. And then finally the yellow section, where I'm growing gamma weed for the gamma root. And then at the end is the refiner. This is the large one. You see what I mean about it being nowhere near the medium. So if you've got, say, a lot of salt and you want to refine any of this stuff you picked, here it is. But also this is where my storage areas are. They've again been colour coded to give an idea of what's in there. So if you need refining, the chances are it's in the storage areas. So I'll come back to here in a moment. So come around here to this sort of floating platform, and if we look down there, there is the Nautilon. So I do have all 5 exocraft in the base here, so it's not bad. You can see there's quite an expanse of water. It's not as large as I thought it was though. I did fuck up a bit and didn't put it in quite as open as expansive water as I thought I had. But it's big enough, and of course I can always just summon it whenever I'm on another part of the planet. So finally we get to this part. Say the base isn't enormous, it's quite compact compared to the first base. And you'll notice this one goes underwater. Now this is intentional. It's not a fuck up. I did intend it to be submerged. In fact, if there is a fuck up, it's that it's not as submerged as I thought it was going to be, or as much as I hoped it would be. But here, that is the 3rd landing pad. It can be used. It's not just there for the sake of it. And I've had several ships land there, including one that landed in this video, which I sort of skipped and hoped nobody noticed. But yeah, when they land, it looks like they're just floating on the water. So that is the new base. So it does generally follow you know, the layout and everything of the first one. Well, not the layout, but the general sort of, you know, idea of the first one, but the layout is different. It's not as spread out as the first. It's still spread out enough, but yeah, not as much as the first one was. So I'm quite pleased with it. In fact, I think it's pretty good actually. Certainly does what I need. Now, with regards to where I fucked up, I mean, if we head up here, I mean, you may be thinking, that in order to use the land exocraft, I've got to keep coming up here and summoning them. Well, just here you get an idea of how spread out it is. You see, I mean, it seems more spread out than I thought it was. Yeah. And of course, once I've gone over, you know, got my exocraft summoned here, and then I've gone over the edge, how do I get back? Apart from having to get out, get up here manually, and you know, summon the exocraft again. Well, actually, no, that's not what I need to do at all. And I shall demonstrate. We'll take the Nomad, which is the frailest of the lot and the one that slows down the most when going uphill. I won't use the boost. We'll just there we go. So drive straight up, straight into that fucking plant that attacks, and we'll drive off the edge. It's not a very satisfying landing, but yeah, now just drive around as normal. But as you can see, there is a huge sort of lip, overhang around here, which means you can't go back that way. So how do we get back in? Well, there is only one way back in. That is, come around here. Actually, with the Nomad, there's two ways back in. So we get in onto the water. Up here, and there we go. We are back. So yeah. And obviously with the Nomad we can even leave the base that way as well. So you might be thinking, well, yeah, that's fine if you can build up the speed to get out. Well, let's take the heaviest and slowest exocraft. Again, I won't use the boost. Not yet anyway, I might need to. Oh, there we go. So straight up and over. And off the end. That really is an unsatisfying landing. I expected a much bigger impact, but there we go. So we can explore the whole of the mainland here. And then when we come back, what we do is desperately try to avoid the trees, pretend you didn't see that graphics glitch, and we come around here, drive along the edge, and boss. So yeah, using the exocraft here, no problem at all. Now I freely admit that was pure luck. I thought I'd really fucked up and had basically dug myself in here. I don't think these are actually completely. They are a little bit, but not much. I can still grow them all. I'll be able to collect them when they have grown. There's 36 of them there, which is how many I needed because of the amount of I'm growing 9 echinocactus. So with 36 of those, that means I will it's the right amount for building the polyfiber, so it works out quite alright. And that's it, that is the base. I'm going to jump in the Nautilus. Now the Nautilus, I have fully upgraded the cannon now. So the only upgrades left to do on high power sonar, but I don't think there are any because I haven't seen any come along at all. And the Tethys beam, there aren't any at the moment, but I suspect they will come. Or at least I'm assuming there aren't any at the moment. I haven't seen the remotest sign of a Tethys beam upgrade. So, but yes, as you see, there is certainly enough water to explore and move around in, and of course get most of the underwater specific objects. Not all. I wish there were one or two others, but like I say, you can't have everything. But you may also notice, try that again, you may also notice that refueling process running out. Yeah, I'm approaching the far bank. This is as large as this area is. So yeah, it's nowhere near as big as I thought it was. I did think I was building it on the actual coastline. In fact, I've basically built it on a large lake. You can't even really call it an inland sea, it's not big enough. I'll also point out the date today is November the 10th. 5 days after the fucking guidance night, and yet there are still cunts around here who are letting off fucking fireworks. 5 fucking days later. Well, this is South End and it's full of cunts who are doing, you know, shit like that. So. I mean, I fucking hate fireworks. I just don't get the appeal. I don't see the sense. I mean, they're not cheap. And, you know, it's fucking irritating. I don't mind, you know, like the colours and all that, but I hate the ones that do nothing but just make a big fucking bang, big fucking deal. Oh, anyway, so that's Nautilus. And of course, I mean, once you've bought fireworks, all you do is fucking set fire to them and that's it. I mean, what kind of fucking idiot would go out and buy, you know, pay money to buy something when all you're going to do is set fire to it and that's it, it's gone. Right, I'm going to have a fag. There, so yes, that then is the new base. It's finished for the most part, so I haven't done any decorations. During the night, because I've chosen the black, you know, main colour scheme, it does get very dark inside, so I'll probably add some lighting. That won't affect complexity because the lights do unload completely, so I should get away with putting those up, especially if I just use the small wall mounted ones. That should be fine. I do quite like the matte black interior, so yeah, I'm not going to be changing that. Oh, one other change that I did is to the multi-tool. So you saw in the previous video I got the pulse splitter and the scatter blaster. Now with the scatter blaster, the blueprint upgrade, all that does is reduce reload time by 11%. Well, you look at the S-rated upgrades that I fitted, and among its improvements, reload time minus 22%, reload time minus 24%, reload time minus 21%. So a minus 11 on top of that, and that's all it did. I thought, well, that's a bit of a fucking waste of time. So I got rid of it and fitted an S-class upgrade to the geology cannon. Now you saw how much damage that fucking thing did after softening up the quads with a few hits from the pulse splitter. Use that one-shot kill boss. Well, now I don't think I need to soften them up with any shots from the pulse splitter. Damage plus 35%, along with explosion radius plus 42% and projectile velocity plus 228%. What that says to me is that this thing will now, yeah, definitely one-shot kill a quad. I think once I've removed the armor plating from a walker, one, maybe two of these will probably take that fucking thing out as well. It also says to me I've got to stand way back when I'm using this fucking thing. If I get caught in the explosion, I do not stand a fucking chance. I've already killed myself about 4 times with this fucking thing by accidentally pressing the right mouse button at the wrong time. So, in fact, at the moment, yeah, I didn't have the geology cannon even selected, so yeah, that's better. So that's the base, that's the location of it. If you really want to be a bit poncy about it, let's show you the so those are the coordinates there. So maybe that'll give you an idea of how to get here. But that's it. So there you go, Lukozer Base 2. Wasn't that exciting? Right. That's enough of that one then, so now go away.